Welcome to part 6, the function and structure of the skin. If they did, a lot of people would be super happy because sebum is the cause of so many skin care problems. And when the skin has problems, a person's appearance is affected, which can sincerely and severely affect their self-confidence, their depression, their communication abilities, and other social functioning abilities. There are a lot of good things about sebum too. Scientists actually speculate that sebum may also have antimicrobiology roles and antioxidant roles. It might even help release pheromones. Research into these, potential functions is ongoing. But that said, researchers do know that sebaceous glands' primary function is to produce sebum, to protect your skin and hair from moisture loss. Sebaceous glands produce and secrete sebum, which is a group of complex oils, including triglycerides and fatty acid breakdown products, wax esters, squalene, cholesterol esters, and cholesterol. Sebum lubricates the skin to protect against friction and makes it more impervious to moisture. And remember, what we call oil on our skin is made up of a lot more than just sebum. It also contains a mixture of sweat and dead skin cells and tiny particles from the air around you. If you have sebaceous glands all over your skin except for the palm of your hands, that's something important for you to know, and also on the soles of your feet. And your scalp actually contains the highest concentration of glands. Your shins and other smooth surfaces, like them, typically have fewer glands. Each gland secretes sebum. So if you want to picture the process a little bit more clearly, it might be helpful to think of your tear ducts and the way they secrete your eyes' natural moisture and tears. Although sebaceous glands are much tinier than tear ducts, they work in a very similar way. These glands are vital because just as tear ducts keep the eyes lubricated, sebaceous glands keeps the skin lubricated. And as a skincare coach, your clients need to be informed that these glands are absolutely critical to their skin's health. They can malfunction, become overstimulated or understimulated. They can get clogged or contract viral, bacterial, or fungal infections. Any one of these can run counter to overall skincare health, and it doesn't make the skin look great. Most often, people with oily skin will ask their skincare coach how to reduce oil production. If your client has very oily skin, their body may actually be producing an excessive amount of the mixture of lipids, the fat-like molecules that make up sebum. Well, this is often caused by stripping the skin, starting a cycle with the skin is stripped, signaling sebaceous glands again to produce excess sebum to make up for this. Then the client sees too much oil, and then he strips it again, and then it starts a vicious cycle. None of that's good. During coaching, you can actually help by changing this pattern. Then the skin will most likely quickly adjust, sometimes within days or weeks, at least with one cycle. Please keep in mind that this overproduction of sebum also might be caused by other factors, like medicine. Refer to your client's nutritionist, for example, or doctor who can look at the balance of fats that the client might be consuming, or their medical professional skilled in looking at underlying factors like medicines they might be taking. From a nutritional standpoint, your client might also have a sensitivity to a food source, and their skin is the telling sign. For example, some people just can't eat peanuts. I can't without having an adverse oil eruption. One peanut, one zit for me. And that consumption doesn't do the same for another person. The culprit of breakouts for me is peanut sensitivity. Another culprit might be the medicines that they're taking. They might have an underlying medical condition that's affecting their sebaceous glands and sebum production. Skincare coaches, medical professionals, and nutritionists can work hand in hand together to unearth potential issues and provide workable skincare solutions to the client. A great skincare coach will explore these and make the appropriate referrals and suggestions and remind their clients to have regular skin health checkups with their healthcare professionals. This is a vital aspect of skin health and skincare coaching. Now let's talk about if you're a your client's skin is just too dry. Just the opposite might be happening. This might be caused by products or ingredients that they're using, or they might be over exfoliating. Again, keep an open mind. It's your responsibility as a skincare coach to suggest to your client that they see other people to discuss why this might be happening, other professionals. They might consult with a nutritionist to examine their fat intake that might be too low. The client might find that modifying their diet to include more fats has a positive effect on their sebum production, and therefore their skin will be less dry. They might be taking medications that inhibit sebum production, or they could have a medical condition that slows down their metabolism, affecting the sebaceous glands functioning. A healthcare professional or a nutritionist can make suggestions that will, together with your suggestions on their skincare regime, make significant inroads towards the goals that they desire. It really takes a team to create great skincare health. So how do you remove sebum and unblock pores? That's a question that clients want to know. Well, sebaceous glands, when they get clogged, the oil inside can't pass onto the surface of the skin so that it gets washed away. The oil builds up and then swells inside the gland. And even while the gland continues to produce more and more sebum, a blocked sebaceous gland causes yellowish or flesh-colored bumps on the skin. These bumps are shiny and usually on the face and the back, especially on the forehead, T-zone, and nose. These are pimples. They're also small, usually between 2 and 4 millimeters wide, and pretty painless, but they look unsightly and clients don't like them. If the oil does get trapped and left to harden, the pores become even more blocked and potentially resulting in full-blown whiteheads, pimples, blackheads, acne, and even more skincare conditions that are not desirable. Always tell your clients that they ideally need to refrain from squeezing zips, scratching bumps, popping pimples, or irritating swollen pores. This damages the skin and causes a host of problems. The best way to unblock sebaceous glands and pores is to address the issue of the actual hardened sebum. Using a combination of 2 types of acids to effectively soften and remove hardened serum and unblock sebaceous glands with alpha and beta hydroxy acids, for example, is typically the best way to go. Additionally, the client needs to stop, or at the very least inhibit sebum from actually building up in the first place. The best way to do this is to implement a solid skincare regime, including regular and consistent manual and chemical exfoliation. This will soften and remove hardened sebum on a regular basis. And products containing the appropriate levels of alpha hydroxy acids, such as glycolic and lactic acid, exfoliate the skin by removing dead skin cells too. Beta hydroxy acids, like salicylic acid, which are lipophilic, they allow this to combine or dissolve lipids or fats, which is what sebum is mostly made of. This combining allows them to mingle with the oil deep inside the pore, softening it and breaking up those oil plugs. While genetics and hormones play a large part in the way our sebaceous glands work, there are things you can do to help them function properly. Here are some of them. The first is, of course, stay well hydrated. When the skin cells need hydration, they'll stimulate oil production to reduce moisture loss. This action causes the sebaceous glands to go into hyperdrive, which means they'll produce more oil than the skin can actually secrete. This may result in sebum backing up inside the glands and pores. The next thing to do is avoid excessive sun exposure. UV rays and the sun's heat can overstimulate sebaceous glands too. This is especially evident when the skins get sunburnt. The sebaceous glands will produce excessive oils to exacerbate and promote healing. When you take a sauna, you work up a sweat during exercise, or use a warm compress, these all help the skin to get over pressure. This pressure helps the body release fluids through secretion in sweating. Any activity promoting gentle perspiration on a regular basis helps the skin regularly release the sweat and the sebum through sebaceous glands and pores. This is an excellent way to keep the skin functioning in a healthy way.